Winty batter.
Winty batter. Jim, you got your blue shirt on? Check. Tim, you got your flannel shirt on? Check.
Yes, sir. Got
my
flannel ready to go. Hit the live button.
I almost put on my hoodie tonight, but you know.
Jim, stop. He's got to hit the live button.
All right. Let me click it.
I guess he should. I shouldn't swear in a second, right?
No more cussing, Jim.
Damn it. It's okay. We knew we were live. That was just humor for all y'all at home.
Why are you
so tonight.
Okay, problem solved.
Okay. So apparently we weren't ready, even though we thought we were ready. Tonight we're playing with SDR Plus, SDR SDR Plus. And this looks like it's extremely multi-platform. So give me a shout out if you are playing along at home in the chat so I know who to ask questions. Let me type it in. Playing along.
Should we?
And that way it is.
Should we elect? I was going to say, should we elect a representative for each platform?
Oh, sure. Definitely.
Yes. Yeah. So they can do what they got to do amongst themselves. And then we've got one. That way we keep the chat, kind of under control. And
yeah.
Not a Diet Dr. Pepper.
Uh-oh. That looks ale colored.
See if you throw it out in the chat if you think you know what it is. You guys got a guess?
Knee high?
No.
So Dan's already pre-gamed the show. He's got it all running. So I needed to know who was playing along, so I knew who to ask for help when the time comes.
Dan's out of the drawing.
Well, he's already got it running, so apparently it's him.
He's out. He's out of the drawing.
So there is a link in the description for it, and it is multi-platform. And what is the most important thing you want to know about this software when you go to the website? Let me bring up the website because that's going to make it a little bit even easier. Let's do SDR
Not Lite
Plus. And click on the website, and then we will share that page out because it is such a ridiculous process to share a screen. And I got to come back here and I got to add it to the stream. And look at this. So this answers all of the questions that you want to know right away, right on the front page. Many other websites need to take this hint. SDR Plus, the bloat-free SDR receiver, and there's a download link. That's like 110% of what you need right out of the gate. Then if you wanted more information after that, you can go through and scroll down and see. So already top marks for, oh, look at that, features. It tells you features right away. Multi-VFO, wide hardware support, accelerated DSP, cross-platform, full waterfall update when possible, and it takes plugins. Like these people know how to make software. So far, so good, giving it top marks out of the gate. Now, we get into the harder stuff of actually.
We will judge the UI harshly, though. I mean, that's
getting
our thing.
It installed. So I'm going to switch over here to this screen, which looks kind of weird. So let's do this to make it bigger. And this is my Raspberry Pi 4 platform. So I had to switch keyboards too.
How are you sticking your picture inside of the Raspberry Pi display?
I am what you would call a professional, and I'm not actually doing that. What I'm using is an HDMI capture card from the Raspberry Pi to go into OBS, and I have OBS feeding my camera over top. So this is the same camera I was using last time. I just shrunk it all down, and there we go. So I'm going to go and...
Steve, I'm just going to say this. Your name tag, your call sign keeps disappearing.
Oh, yeah.
When you lean forward, and people are not going to know who you are. They're not going to know how to address you.
I get excited.
Yeah.
And so the web browser actually should be pretty fast since we're not going over VNC for this. Which thing to download? Lee, which thing? Oh, it's the ARM. I'm going to actually bring it up on the stream as well. So let me get over to that page so I can see.
Hold your horses. That's what he's saying.
I can't see it myself.
Not Miller Life. Miller Highlight. Miller Light. Geez, not Miller Lite, Miller Highlight.
There we go. And it's weird having two mice on the same screen, and they don't actually go to the same computer. So when you go to SDR Plus website, and you click on the download link, it gives you a whole bunch of choices, which is what Lee's question was.
Now, this is not a I want to be a scanner program. This is a general purpose SDR receiver program.
As far as I know, yes. And so Lee was talking in the chat earlier today about this. So there is a new thing on Raspberry Pi land, a new version of the OS called Bookworm, And Bookworm doesn't seem to be compatible with a whole lot of stuff just yet because it's only like 2 or 3 months old, maybe 4 at the outset. So we need to go with Bullseye, and then you have to look over on the side. And are you running Debian Bookworm on an x86 platform, Debian Bullseye on an x86 platform, Debian Buster, which is 2 generations ago on an x86 platform, Debian SID 4 generations ago, or are you doing this on Mac OS Intel? There doesn't appear to be a Mac OS Apple Silicon, but that could be this ARM HF version here. And Bullseye is
would
the
probably work
previous
on Apple
version.
Silicon.
And on Raspberry Pi, which is also running the ARM chip, I'm going to use the ARM HF file. And I downloaded the 64-bit version of Raspberry Pi OS, and this doesn't say ARM v7 64 whatever. So this may still yet get us, and I might still have to rewrite that. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the download since I'm actually on the Pi of the ARM HF version. And there's also Ubuntu packages if Ubuntu is your flavor of choice. And I'm going to click on that. Would I like to install it? See, Linux is modern at times.
Chris Jensen said he thinks there is a scanner plugin for this as well.
So scanner and trunking, or just like FM scanner? We'll have to find out. So Jim, if you're playing along, you might be able to scan away.
I was not, but I can.
Am I the only one working tonight? Tim's not playing along. Jim's not playing along.
I'm
Anybody
on
that
Christmas
ends in
vacation,
M.
son.
Dude, I'm on vacation this week. Actually, the next 2 weeks. I said the heck with it. I'm done.
So there's an Android version in here too.
Is there
Mac
really?
That
OS
would be cool.
Intel.
Well, now I got to
Windows
go click the
64.
link. Hold on a second, guys.
What are you
I
going to
don't
play? Android?
Oh, I see the APK. Yeah, that'd be cool. Portable SDR.
And this does work on Mac OS Intel. I want to say the ARM version might work on Mac Silicon. I'm not sure about that.
Okay, so this is interesting. I just clicked the install. I clicked go ahead and do it. I typed in my password and it did. I didn't even have to click like next like you will on Windows. It's just apparently it is done. So did I just jinx it? Let's go into the menu, and I believe it's under Other, and there it is, SDR Plus.
Brian Hendricks has been a member.
This is the problem that Lee ran into.
That's a Zadig problem, isn't it? Can't find the. Can it?
This
find
says it can't.
It's a Linux machine, Jim.
Are you asking
I don't
about
know.
Chris's problem or the one that I just surfaced on my screen?
No, I was talking about Brian. Brian has been a member for 11 months.
Brian, thank you.
We should tell Brian thank you with mucho gusto.
All right, there is an SDR PP file in user bin. So I'm going to type in head to see the top line of the file to see what kind it is. I kind of already know that this is a binary file from talking in the Nuggets chat on the Toads Discord, which is linked to the top of the chat over there. Yep, it is definitely a binary file. And that's
so on
scrolled
Windows, it does not install. It just is a copy it all into a folder.
Huh. So that's an ELF file. The file command is going to tell me a little bit more. So this is a 32-bit executable. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut this thing down and I'm going to put the 32-bit version of Raspberry Pi OS on it. So that was fun. Lee, we've now caught up to you in the Nuggets chat. So let's see if we have a solution for this. It shouldn't matter that it's a 64-bit OS and a 32-bit binary.
And I don't have a dongle here.
We'll wait.
Really?
All right, so now that is shut down, power out, SD card in hand. Jim, where'd you go?
I'm right here.
Tim, where'd you go? Tim just left too, but Tim left all the way.
I'm trying to find my dingus.
And Jim, if you can't find it, heaven help everybody else around here. All right, choose device, Raspberry Pi 4, choose OS, and then I can do 32-bit legacy of Bullseye, and it says Bullseye right there on the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Choose storage, that one next. And this is the cool thing about using the Raspberry Pi Imager over using a tool like Etcher or any other SD card writing software. And that is that it will allow me to do OS customization. So it'll set up your Wi-Fi network, set up your user to log in with, set up your password, your SSH key, a bunch of other real straightforward settings. And that's extremely helpful.
That is one of the best tools ever. And they used to have the customization stuff used to be buried. You had to hit a secret key command to get it to show up.
Yeah.
And you don't anymore.
So Dan is asking, what version of SDR Plus am I running? Dan, it is the nightly build from, I guess, last night, which could mean that it doesn't run. Don, it will automatically DHCP on Ethernet if you don't run Wi-Fi.
I bet Don doesn't do Wi-Fi.
He said he doesn't. He's just one of those types, like Wi-Fi's been in existence since what, 98,
Jeez.
99?
Yeah. 20 plus years. Probably 25 years, honestly.
So another 20 and he'll catch up to us.
Okay, while we are doing that with you, let me present window. And there it is on Windows.
Jim's already got it up and running. That was fast.
I've been accused of being fast.
Don says Wi-Fi is unsecure and slow, and he says as an IT security professional, you should know that.
It is slow.
What happened, Tim?
So you have to select.
I'm not sure. My my PoE switch stopped switchulating.
Gas station switch.
You would think it's actually a decent one. It says Netgear on it.
So Don,
it's so precious.
Yeah, I wouldn't say. I don't know.
Don, fun fact: up to about 3 megabits per second, you can use the link light on your wired Ethernet port to successfully decode what's going on your network. And not everything you do on a 10 gigabit Ethernet network runs at 10 gigabit Ethernet speeds.
Nothing runs at 10 gigabit Ethernet speeds.
Right.
Yeah, unless you're pushing data. And you're using jumbo frames. And if you aren't
Right.
using jumbo frames, you're not going to get that kind of throughput.
Ken says any network connection is insecure. Ken, I feel bad for their bad parenting experience that they grew up with, but insecurities abound around people. That was a bad joke.
While I was gone, it looks like you got the software up.
This is mine, not his.
Well, once he found his dingus, he was able to get it up pretty quick.
Is that kind of a dingus in the bottle kind of thing? A little blue dingus?
Yeah.
Or what?
Oh, I can hear a little bit of it too. Is that like local FM?
Yeah, that's local FM. I'm going to mute it.
Jim's like, my prescription drug plan doesn't have name brand drugs, so mine's not blue.
Jody, I knew you could get that joke. Of all the people in the chat, I figured you'd be the first, and you were.
I mean,
unless
Chris is such a great word because you can always throw out a double entendre with it. Exactly right.
So my OS is still going to my SD card, and then we get to watch it reboot several times.
Well, to be fair, I'm not compiling.
I haven't done that yet either.
All right, let's see what we got. All right, so that gets rid of all the menu, and you get a full screen. Over here.
Frank's got like a one-track mind. He's already wanting to know if it does P25.
We can zoom in. Can I move that? Oh, that's changing the frequency.
I'm connecting a signal stick to my dingus.
Well, you
Well,
might
maybe
want to
it's
get an
splatter.
antenna.
We gotta pick up every. Oh my god. So, okay, so we got FM radio there. What else we got?
Yeah, that's broadcast FM right there.
Double
All right.
sideband, lower sideband, upper sideband, CW, raw. You'd have to do raw
See-
and then export it, but they're supposed to be plugins.
Let's see if we can get
Hmm.
WWV.
Can you
I
pipe
doubt
that
it
audio
because this
back
is
in?
not a.
I thought
I
that
don't
was
know
on
what
10
that
megahertz.
is. Yeah,
You're
I
on
don't
upper
know what that
sideband.
is.
But WWV is also at like 5 and 15, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
But this antenna is a scanner antenna. This is an 800 megahertz antenna, so your mileage may vary. Let's try 15.
I'm still writing my SD card. You
Hmm.
guys aren't missing anything over here. So MT in the chat is saying that spike in the middle is the DC spike from the RTL-SDR, so you don't want to tune the frequency there.
Yep. We should be able to turn that off. And we also want direct sampling for HF.
So Liberty Cave wants us to talk about antennas for these things. And really, I guess it depends on your mission as to what antenna you want. If you want to listen to HF, you should get an HF antenna. If you want to listen to 2 meters, you should get a 2 meter antenna. More wire in the air means you'll be able to listen to more signal, but not necessarily listen better to more signal. So, go with lots of wire in the air first, and then go with, specifically to your mission. And then Dan saying, click the IQ connection on the left, Jim.
That one, IQ correction.
IQ
And as far-
correction, yes.
Yeah. There we go.
I usually just check that. Oh, you got it. And then there goes the DC offset. And then Eric is saying the gain slider up in the middle-ish, which is the blue box at the bottom of the top of the left-hand side, the blue box on the top of the left-hand side. There you go.
Yeah, I turned the volume down a little bit.
Still writing.
There we go.
Oh, there it is.
Yep.
I just leave this on in the background all day long. This is the ambient beat that gets me through my day.
Don't really need any gain for that. It's not getting any better. Now, one thing you could do is play with the PPM correction, and I have no idea what it is on these. That's making a difference. It's getting louder.
So I'm looking down through the list of sources they've got here. I don't know if you guys covered that before I got back.
Not yet.
Hermes is a source that's already defined in the list.
Nice.
SDR Play. So even if you have an SDR Play receiver, which I think generally is the best for a intro level person that doesn't necessarily want to get in and have to mess with all the stuff that goes along with one of these dongles. Was that the Teletubbies theme song?
Okay, I like the interface of this. This is decent.
Yeah, and they said no bloat. So if you wanted to do FD8 decoding, there's probably a plugin for that or an export audio chain into WSJTX. Brian, we did a Hermes Nuggets session with Chuck. Chuck got a Hermes Lite, and we did a whole episode on it. Check in the back catalog, but definitely appreciate the super chat. And I am going to be getting a Hermes Lite eventually. I got to work through my own log to accomplish.
Okay.
Thank you, Brian.
Here's band plans for a number of different countries and whatever QO100 is. So when you change that band plan, now it shows us that's the 40-meter ham band, shortwave broadcast, yada, yada. And what I'm trying to figure out, rolling the mouse wheel moves the signal, but I can't grab it. I wanted to slide this whole thing over, but I don't see that happening.
So I picked up an FM radio station here.
Cool.
Let's see.
Frank says, you might have found me an SDR software if, and he's still waiting for that P25 decoding. Thank you, Frank.
See if you can. Frank, see if you can find a trunking decoder. So here's the module manager. I guess I'm still on the screen, Steve. I don't know.
You are, yeah.
My screen's up. So over here we have the module manager, and so some of these are kind of obvious. Some of these I don't really know. HackRF source, Hermes source, Lime SDR source.
Yeah,
so I'm assuming
hardware.
those are over network radio sources. Rig control, that's interesting. So it will do rig control.
So for your PPM question, Dan is saying that it is the internal correction of the clock of the SDR dingus itself. So tune it into a known good frequency like WWV on 5 or 10, and then move it to around
Jiggle it.
30 or 40, and it should zero right in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to kind of tweak that.
That's what he's saying to do.
Yeah. What was I on 10? Was I on 10 when we heard it really good? Let's try 10.
You were on 10, yeah, I think.
See, so I want to move this whole. I want to move this screen over, but as I move the screen, it's changing the frequency. It's kind of okay. So you can move the screen, but then you got to move the bar. Nope, 10 is still.
So, Jim, what I'm seeing on what I've got here is that this window is like, mine says FM broadcast, right? So I'm only seeing the FM broadcast band.
Yeah.
And
you're seeing 3 kilohertz of the FM broadcast band because that's all your SDR can see.
3 megs.
Yeah, and then you have to move another 3 megs, and then you can see that section.
Right.
Must have been 15 because I'm not hearing nothing on 10.
So, Jim, your scrolling question, Chris is saying click that double arrow next to the frequency, and then when you scroll, it'll scroll both of them together.
Ah! Well, yeah, it is. It's jumping. Yep, okay. All right. I expect all this stuff to work like ICOM. That also centers it.
So we were hearing this before.
I'm not hearing a significant difference one way or the other. Okay. All right. Let's see what else we got. gain, attack, and delay. So that's like your slow, medium, fast AGC in your radios. Only you can tweak this attack and decay.
Blueberry believes you were on 25 megahertz before.
Well, let's go to 25.
And then Dan is saying check the
Negative,
zoom
Batman.
slider. Check the zoom slider on the right-hand side. And you've got 3 zoom sliders, I guess, for the 3 different sections of your screen. Yeah, and Joe, we're turning mute on and off so you guys don't have to hear all the static. And my SD card has been written.
That's nice. So you can tweak that up and down.
Jim, did you find that little button beside the frequency up top?
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds like you're getting there.
I would just like to point out that both Jim and myself have got these up and running in the time it's taken Steve to write his SD card.
It's a slow SD card. I'll give you that one.
Listen, I know, but to be fair, you don't rush Gordon Ramsay when he's making an omelet. I'm just saying.
I'm going to say that this is empirical evidence that Windows is just a better platform.
I don't want to start a holy war in the chat. They're all tools, and I use all of them depending on my mission. Honestly, I do. My DNS and my Pi-hole are running on Linux here. My Plex runs on, well, it used to run on Linux, and I've moved it to my NAS now, which I think is Linux. I still adore my Macs, and Windows is getting the job done. I record on Windows.
So Frank says that he had this thing up 5 minutes before you did.
I didn't even start because I wasn't going to do
And
this.
I'm assuming he's running Windows.
I was going to let Steve abuse himself for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm having fun.
Well, that's what friends do. Friends allow friends to abuse themselves.
Frank, I need you to find out if there's a P25 or scanner for this because I don't see anything in here. So we can potentially add a module, I guess.
So check out that module.
Well, there's a plus, but it's not bringing up a list or anything.
So this does look like you can stream, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, the TCP stuff.
So you could probably run it on a Raspberry Pi.
Oh, it does have a scanner in it. There's the scanner right there. So you click this little drop down here.
Which little drop down are you at?
And I also see Meteor demodulator, which is interesting.
Meteor? Like the weather service Meteor?
I would guess so. M17 decoder.
Is it Meteor or Metar?
Nice.
No, Meteor, not Metar.
Okay.
Jim actually does know what those are.
Just double checking. I don't know.
But it also, look here, so it also has rig control client, rig control server.
I guess I haven't scrolled that far down yet.
Scanner. So let's click that.
I will say this.
I've clicked it.
I like this. How everything is in one simple to find column, and you got your hamburger menu up there. Either it's there or it's gone. Right. And then you can just scroll down this list for every bit of thing that you're looking for.
And these modules apparently add in over here on this left-hand side. So see down here at the bottom left where I'm pointing at rig control server, I can come up here and say, I don't want rig control server. And it will say, delete it. Yes. And now it is not showing up on my list of modules on the left-hand side.
Oh, theme. Look at there.
Yeah, I
theme.
saw that. It's
Oh my God, look at that. You can go gray, you can go light, you can go deep blue.
oh, I'm getting cancer right now from that.
Go white. Go light. Go light. Check it out. Once you go light, you'll never go back.
Oh, son.
That's like
But what I
Okay,
don't see,
SDRPP.com is not the right website for this, just in case y'all are watching my screen. It's SDRPP.org.
so I see scanner here, and I've clicked plus, which doesn't appear to be doing anything. But I don't see a scanner module listed over here on the side. Unless it's up here somewhere. Source, radio, recorder, frequency manager, band plan.
so.
Huh.
All those. Oh. There's an M17 decoder.
Yep.
That's
That's on
all
my
you really
list
need.
of projects one day, because I think you can put the OpenGD 77 firmware will do M17. But I don't know if it runs on a FANG 1801, and I'm not buying another DMR radio just to hack it to run M17. I mean, I think the M17 guys are sharp because they're making the protocol, for crying out loud, but they need to get some commercial support for it to go anywhere.
They're actually doing pretty good. They're just, they don't have the ability to build a hardware platform.
Right.
And
That's what
in
I'm.
massive
That's what I
scale.
meant. Yes. Yeah. I know you can take a TYT MD380. Is that TYT? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, the MD380 can be hacksawned to run M17. And I know when I got into digital radio 4 years ago, I mean, I went crazy. I got a DMR radio, I got a D-Star, I got a Fusion, I got an NXDN that used to be on an ambulance. I got a P25. I actually have two P25s and an NXDN. And at the end of the day, I can't tell a whole lot of difference between how any of them sound.
Well,
Short of talking about DMR on a cheap Chinese radio that's a piece of junk.
they all
which
go
I have
back.
several.
They all go back to the vocoder.
Yes.
The Ambi 3000 vocoder that, and they all use that, right? So it's just basically a different implementation of that. Did you say the MD380?
MD380s. I believe that's the one that's hackable to M17.
Looky here.
Is that what you got? I'm looking at the scanner screen, so I don't.
Yeah. So like you, I bought a D-Star radio, and then I bought a DMR radio, and I'm like, both of those are a pain in the ass compared to Fusion to set up, and Fusion, you can just turn it on and go, right. And talk to other people. But I kind of got fed up. I'm in between, two towns that have repeaters, and neither one of them, we have Fusion here in the town that I'm in, but like DMR and the D-Star, I can't hit either one of those repeaters from my house. And I just felt like I was chasing digital stuff just to keep up with the Joneses. So I just kind of set it aside. I got the Fusion because I got the 400. I wanted the radio for the larger screen when the 400 was a big thing. And so I got that. But even then, half the people, 3/4 the people that you talk to on a regular basis use analog FM. So I've never really pursued digital in that.
Well, you've got to be the
form or
change you want to
fashion.
see, Tim. You got to
Well-
switch it into digital narrow mode and then key up on the repeater and block all the analog people out.
All of our repeaters that do digital, unless they're a digital specific repeater. So only thinking of the Fusions that's not analog or digital only.
Okay, so back to the topic at hand. I have switched over to 32-bit Raspberry Pi OS. I've reinstalled the Debian package, so we're now back up to the point where we were when it crashed the last time. I'm clicking the button, and look at that. It works. So it is a 32-bit package that does not work on a 64-bit OS. And let's find something over here.
Well, let's share you because I've got my.
I should already be shared. I was shared. So
I mean,
unshared me.
I didn't unshare you. I was just like, let's make you bigger. There you go.
Embiggen you.
Embiggen you.
All right. So I'm going to go to 14.074.
Dan requested Weather Channel 162.4 is what he mentioned, which apparently I'm not receiving on this antenna.
I'm still trying to figure out how I get off the FM broadcast band.
At the top of the screen where the frequencies are, pick a different frequency.
Never mind. I see it now. I just dial it in.
So on mine, the waterfall display shows 20-meter ham band. Let me do full screen so I can see this thing. There we go. And let's see, where do I pick my source?
Now, if you're doing HF, you're going to have to turn on direct sampling and do the IQ thing. And if you don't want HF, you have to turn that off because now I got the weather coming up, Dan. I had to turn off the direct sampling.
So where do I go to pick the device?
That drop down.
The very first one where it says audio?
No, it's not seeing your dongle. What did you pick?
That says
RTL-SDR?
No, I just ran the first one. So I don't have the RTL-SDR libraries installed, which is probably why this doesn't work.
That it would be why that doesn't work.
So I'm going to close that, and then we're going to try and install the RTL-SDR dongle devices.
All right. So while you're fixing that, let me pop this back up. And just like SDR Angel last week, once I turned off the direct sampling, then I got this, which should be, once I changed the modulation. Boom, there's the weather.
Nice.
Oh, it's going to freaking rain. Yay.
So
it's just not loud enough, Don.
Can he not hear it?
He's not wearing headphones. You know, Don.
Degrees with a dew point of 36 degrees. The relative humidity was 56%.
All right, let's go back to my screen and we'll start working on getting the thing installed. So I've removed yours, Jim.
Okay.
And then
I was looking to see if I can shoot the audio out to the stream.
Share it to your mic. So it's interesting. I'm at the 162.4 and I've got carrier. I have no audio.
Do you have direct sampling on or off?
Direct sampling is disabled.
All right. And you also need to, let's see, what else did I have to turn on?
So I'm searching for anything that's got SDR, RTL in it because I have the RTL-SDR dongle. And there is RTL-SDR itself, which is a command line program, but I'm looking for the library. So I'm looking for lib RTL-SDR something or other.
Yeah, I don't see any way to shoot the audio is going to go out my default audio device. It's apparently what it's doing. I can force a change in Windows, but
So I'm going to do this lib RTL-SDR dev package. That seems like a good place to start. I'm hearing static now.
Yeah, that's mine. So that's weird. Yeah, so definitely I've got direct sampling off. I can see the carrier. I can click on it and it's quiet. I turn off the I put direct sampling on the I or the Q branch and I get weird stuff.
There it is.
But as soon as I move
RTL-SDR.
off the carrier, I get static.
All right, there's 14074.
Oh, okay there.
Oh, it's running slow.
Have you got direct sampling on?
Probably not. Where's direct sampling? There's IQ correction, which we needed.
Yep.
And where is direct sampling?
Up
There it
where
is. I see
says
it.
direct sampling. Yeah, at the top.
I'm going to pick the I branch because
Yep.
why not?
And stop it and restart it, I think.
It is not happy.
Are you getting error messages? Because we're not seeing any here, but
Let's see. Error messages. No. I got no device selected and then it moved on past that. Oh, wait a minute. I see it. Nope, that's white. That's right. Let's go to upper sideband. That shouldn't make much of a difference. I'm not seeing anything.
Dan said the Q branch.
Yeah, I
Red
tried the
Eric.
Q branch also.
I'm going to solo you so we could potentially read your screen. And God knows Tim and I are not that much to look at either, but see, it's like it's not giving you anything.
RTL-SDR is my source. I've picked the
It sees
only
your
choice I
dongle.
have. Yep.
Yep. Click. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and turn it back on.
I've got the
That's
gain
all
about
cool.
halfway up.
All right, well, try. Steve, go see if you can pick up an APRS signal on 144.3. Is there anything in your area, any 2 meter or anything you know is going to put out a signal?
Well, I mean, I can go to FM area and see what's in FM.
You know, something I see, Steve, which it seems odd, is that when I hit the play button, I can no longer select my dongle. It's grayed out. But yours looks like you can still select it while you hit the play button.
I
But
can't
he's
select
also
it
not
right
getting
now. The second choice,
Yeah.
I can drop that down, but there's only one choice in that list anyway. I can drop it
Right.
down whether I've got play or not.
Okay. Huh. Well, I've only got one choice too, but like I said, both lines, the RTL-SDR and the actual SDR are gray out when I hit play. And so does the sampling rate.
My SDR dongle's not even getting warm. There's two different libSDRs in here, I think.
I'm assuming you have at least an FM radio station in the area.
Yeah, but I'm not getting even like noise on the waterfall.
Yeah, you should be getting waterfall noise as soon as you turn that dongle on, even if it's not set up right.
And they're both installed. I mean, we made progress by installing it, but not enough progress. I'm going to do the SOAP SDR module just in case. Spelling counts.
All right, I'm going to try and catch up in the chat while we're watching you struggle. And I'm not judging when I say that. It is.
It is. Oh.
That's right. It is what it is. Mateo's asking if you rebooted after installing the RTL-SDR driver. You shouldn't have to.
I did not, but that's a Windows thing.
Yeah.
We can if it makes everybody happy, but that's.
Kieran is hollering drivers, but it's like I think he's got the drivers, and he's on Linux. So the rebooting thing is not the issue. He's got to find the right drivers for that dongle. We're part of the way there because it sees the dongle.
There's the SOAP SDR interface and the generic RTL. And no better. Other than we lost the direct sampling choice.
Yeah, you should have noise across the bottom of that display.
I should, for sure.
So, yeah.
That is not the button I wanted to push. All right, so I'm going to double check real quick. Why is that not moving? I'm going to go out and double check real quick to make sure my antenna's plugged in. Vamp, guys.
Okay.
All right.
So they're telling me that I can redirect the audio out of the audio section. However, I don't see an audio section yet. So I'm assuming that's a module manager. I got a audio source. Let's see. Let me go back and share my screen again. And I see audio source and it's already installed. These are the modules that aren't. Or all the modules, I guess. And it never has shown me a scanner one either, so I don't know how to do that.
Okay, I am back. My antenna was loose because we've had some pretty high winds here. And let's see if that had anything to do with it.
You flying that
Ron said
chameleon?
it's incredibly easy to bork up this in the module section. Ask him how he knows.
No change.
All right, Mateo, drop some knowledge. Where is it at?
Hey,
So underneath of source on your screen, where you pick your module,
Yeah.
there's a drop down, and that used to be audio.
I see the RTL-SDR, the dongle, our sampling rate, direct sampling, our PPM correction, gain. This is all IQ and AGC and tuning and bias T. Offset mode. There is literally nothing here that says anything about output audio. radio.
Just to make everybody happy, we're going to reboot anyway.
Recorder. Audio is under radio. Okay, maybe you have a different audio and a different radio than I have. So here we are with radio. All the other modules are closed.
It's in syncs is what they're shouting at.
Okay.
That's not syncs. That's module manager. 2 up is syncs. There you go.
Ah, that radio.
Oh.
Okay. Well, it would make sense that it had it. Y'all hear that?
Nope.
Yes? No?
I can hear it, yeah.
This is the P25 system. But we have no way to decode it.
Oh, I don't know why, but that did work, and I don't like that did work because that should not be a thing on Linux.
What worked? What did you do?
I rebooted.
Oh.
That should have absolutely nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Ron, who are you telling to stop it and play again? Me or TO? You heard my audio. I assume you can hear that in the chat.
Well, hey, Steve, keep in mind this is not Linux in its truest form. It is ARM, whatever. Well, that is so weird sounding.
That's because I had it on the wrong modulation.
On Monday, December
There's the Weather
18th,
Channel again. I can hear that.
at Montgomery, it was
Yep.
clear.
So I am piping audio out to the stream.
What'd you send your audio to?
The Rode secondary.
Gotcha.
So let's see. Chris Bricker's got the Mac version. I assume you mean the Intel version, Chris. Got some new people in here tonight.
Nice. Welcome, newbies.
Yeah. Hey, Jim, by the way, Frank is doing the PP dance and he wants you to check his DMs. Check your DMs. He's trying to slide up in your DMs doing the PP dance.
Let's see. No, Frank, this link for StreamYard is not the same as it always is. It changes.
It's still running slow.
That's so people who have been on once don't randomly come back.
So Libertarian Red Pill says you do have to reboot Linux if you update the kernel or certain critical libraries.
This must have been a critical library.
Let's go with that.
Because I didn't change the kernel. Okay, so now let's check.
It was clear, and temperatures were between 47 and 52 degrees.
Jim, they're saying in the chat that
The current
they would like
time
for you to
is
share out
7:25
access to your
PM
computer,
Central Standard
and
Time.
they'll do modifications for you.
Now here is the hazardous
Nice.
weather outlook for the county served by the National Weather Service Office in Birmingham. For outlook through tonight, no hazardous weather is expected at this time. And now the extended outlook for the period Tuesday through Sunday. No hazardous weather is expected at this time. Water information statement.
So does the weather, is that an automated voice that does that, or is that an actual person reading the the report that just keeps getting played over and over again.
It's automated from an actual voice.
Yeah.
Because that guy reads the weather for every NOAA weather
Every
radio
state.
station. Yeah.
I don't think
Once I
ours
find
sounds
the
that way.
weather- Once I
And-
find the weather station down here, it'll sound the same.
And
Mhm.
do they throw in local colloquialisms like y'all or
No.
Listen,
Right,
Yun's up there can talk
Yuns-
however you want.
Yuns?
Yun's up there.
Yuns.
Just shut up.
Gotcha.
My people are in Fairfield, Tim. So, yeah.
So Colin
I
in,
got something right there.
VK says that he wishes they had a weather service on the radio like they do here. I guess they don't have that down there.
Well, a cool safety tip, I don't know if it's a safety tip. You can also listen, if you're close to an airport, you can also get automated weather information from a lot of airports. If you tune to the ATIS frequency, the ATIS frequency as well. And that's an automated announcement that changes every hour.
Yep.
It's not as much weather. It's like temperature, barometric pressure, density, altitude, pilot related stuff mostly. It's not like,
Yeah.
well, it might rain today and there's going to be 3 inches of snow and here's some cute cat pictures. That's,
Know where your METARs come in
yeah.
and your NOAMs.
I could always
New
test them.
Paul, Jody, the Canadian coming up with the U.S. stuff. Way to go, Jody. We're going to get you measuring in feet and miles soon. New Paul, also known as Voice Text Paul, is a voice used by the NOAA Weather Radio and National Weather Service offices since 2016.
So it's a computerized voice then. Well, based off of a real person, probably.
Yeah, I
saying
think
words.
it's like he says a whole bunch of words and then they've automated it.
Yeah.
So theoretically, they could say you all and Ewan's, and the Ewan's gonna get dumped on today.
Right.
That'd be funny to hear that.
Now, Steve, are you on an RTL3 or an RTL4? You're not on a 4, right?
I am on a 3.
Okay, which is what I got on Windows 11.
I am trying to find the weather station listing for Temple, Texas. And why would it be in alphabetical order?
I'm assuming I have a 3.
400.
I got the NUEC. New elect in there. What'd you do?
Jody. Important safety tip, Jody. Especially if you order iced tea down here.
Ooh, look at that. Jeff, your arse is going to get wet. I'm going to show that. I think that's acceptable. It got blocked, oddly enough, in the chat. I don't think I've ever seen anybody's
162, 475 is your local weather station, Steve.
Well, I'm looking at my screen and I have a signal on my screen. I've got the 162.4 like you're talking about. There's a signal there, but I've got this 162.48 also that looks pretty interesting.
Well, there's about 10 or 12 different channels
Oh, for sure.
for weather.
It's narrow FM?
Yes, narrow FM.
And this display is updating in, I don't know, about 5 frames per second.
And you need to have your direct sampling should be turned off.
Yeah.
I
And
don't, with the
no
SOPI SDR, I don't have IQ or direct sampling choices anymore using the
Oh,
SOPI
okay.
SDR version. I mean, you're seeing my screen.
Well, I see a blue thing with some tiny white writing on the side.
Yeah.
There's the weather
Richard
frequency,
Neese.
Steve, if you're...
There you go. You got it on the screen.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Richard. Right, so-
Steve, Frank would like to come on the stream and impart some knowledge upon us. He was trying to sneak in.
Do you want to put up with Frank on the stream, Jim? Can you handle that?
Do you-
We
you got
put
the
up with
dump
Tim.
button?
I mean,
Do you have your finger on the dump button? He's California. You can't trust those guys.
he's 2 hours behind us built in. Frank, check your DMs there, Chief.
He's
Oh, really?
What are you trying to do?
I was changing my screen layout to 1280 by 720 to make it easier to see, and it wants to reboot.
Ah,
That's the first time.
It's starting to become like Windows.
Kieran, when this comes back up, I will change that if that didn't help. But I just halved the resolution because, I mean, really, the Weather Channel, I don't need ultra high definition.
Richard Neese is an SDR Plus dev.
Oh, hey, Richard, welcome.
We got a ringer in here.
Richard, so far we're loving this thing. This is we've done an SDR series for the past, I don't know, 8 weeks now. And this is the best one we've seen yet. So please pass that along to the rest of the
team,
the folks.
By far the fastest to get online and up and running.
And I've actually redone the entire Raspberry Pi experience. I
would actually say it is faster than that mess you were compiling a couple weeks ago. But I like the interface is not terrible. I mean, it's a lot of information to jam in an interface, and I understand that. But I can look at this interface without having to go find a technical manual to figure out what the hell they're doing. Right? Some of those other programs may be cool, but good Lord, the interface is...
Jim just couldn't figure out how to pipe out his
No,
audio.
I didn't, because I hadn't explored audio sync. I didn't know what that meant.
Okay, and I think it actually moved off the screen because now my screen's not big enough. I got to use the right mouse again.
See, Ken likes the interface too.
Oh,
and Frank is audio only. You got to connect your mic. I can't add you until you have a mic. And I may not be able to add you if you don't have a cam.
And please make sure you have your pants on.
Lee has a great question. Is there a way to remove the DC spike?
Yeah, we found that out. If you're using the RTL-SDR, you pick that direct... the IQ correction, I think, got rid of it. Either direct sampling or IQ correction got rid of it.
IQ correction.
Okay, we had a signal, and then I rebooted the machine to change video resolution, and now the signal's gone. 164?
162, 475, I think is what they said for you.
$162, 400, yeah.
Evening, gents.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Hello,
yes.
Newman.
Okay, so a couple things I played around with while we were waiting for Steve to catch up here. This is similar to SDR Sharp, in which it's basically just a glorified scanner side software in order to decode things like DMR, P25, etc. You actually do need DSD Plus running in order to decode that stuff.
Ooh.
That's the first thing I found out in trial and erroring this.
Yes, you don't see Frank because he has no camera, and you know.
You're not missing much. That's all right, though.
We've seen Frank. Nothing to write home about.
I'm stashed away at a motel, and I didn't feel like getting all the green screen stuff set up tonight.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to put the audio out, and I don't know if I'll be able to hear that.
We hear something. It sounds...
Sounded stuttered.
Yeah.
Very.
That could be the Pi 4's performance.
Yeah, I think you're eating your CPU up there, buddy.
Well, let's take a look at the CPU. That's a good question.
And while he's doing that, Jim, in the module manager, in order to add a section, you have to name it in the left box. So if you go back to, say, scanner, if you select scanner, the left box will be empty. You need to type in scanner or whatever you want in there to remember what it is. And then you can click the plus button.
Ah, that was not obvious to me. Okay, so I did that. Oh,
CPU
it added
is
it.
fine.
And then it will be right below the rig control server, right below all that.
Yep. Yep. Okay. So where would I add in? All right, let me share mine while Steve's still working on his. So what Frank is talking about here is when you go to add one of these modules from this dropdown, you have to name it over here on the left side. So I see how you could get in DSD Plus is I'd have to use an RTL TCP source, and I could fire DSD Plus and then use that as the source over here. That's more work than I would do.
You can use any of those to get the sources like AirSpy, HF, etc.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the source is the right one, but I think the server maybe, because you want this to be the server for something else to be served.
So Richard from the SDR group has volunteered to come on the stream with no camera. And since Frank's already here with no camera, Richard, I'm dropping the link in the chat. We'll let you in, and happy to have you.
And the rest of you heathens know.
I mean, you all can try. We just won't let you in.
We just won't let you in.
So Richard does say that this has support for HL2 and the hack RF.
Jim, Lee is asking about the DC spike thing that you have on your screen. Can you show him that real quick?
Okay.
I think it's just IQ correction.
Was that it?
Yep. There it is.
Yes.
IQ correction, Richard. There it is, right there. Click on the IQ correction under the source, Lee, and that will disappear.
Yep.
All right, back to what you were doing.
Okay, so I was trying to set up this scanner.
It defaults to just scanning your local FM band because it's 88 megahertz to 108 megahertz.
Bro, I get kicked out every week, every time I try to get in. New shirt, James.
Down in the display, you can change the waterfall settings to lower the load on your CPU or graphics. I think the CPU, I checked the CPU out, guys. The CPU is fine. It's got to be the graphics that are chunking along. And I heard a ding. Who showed up? Richard. Rich.
Hello.
Hey, Rich. How's it going?
Not bad. How are you guys tonight?
We're doing great. N4CNR. Rich is a ham. Welcome, Rich.
Yes, I am a ham. Just so you guys know, we support the we support the HL2.
The Hermes Lite 2, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Rich, if you've got the YouTube stream on, the audio from that, turn it off because you're gonna have a delay
and an echo, and it will make you crazy.
Oh, hold on. Give me a minute. Hold on.
No worries. We have Frank on here, so it's not like this is a professional stream.
Well, I turned off the other stream. It had me in both of them, so I turned one off so I could hear. Okay, so we support the HL2. We support the hack RF. We support most anything that SDR supports. The RTL-SDR, you're better off using the native driver than using the SOPI. The SOPI driver with RTL-SDR does have jitter. We have been working to get that driver fixed. It's been a fight with the SOPI SDR group. As it stands right now, you're better off using the native driver.
All right, I switched back to native driver.
Okay. Now,
and
the other things
too, the jitter's gone. Yep.
The other things too that you guys have to set when you're using VHF and you're trying to stream audio, you need to set under source. You need to go to the LNA VGA gain. Your LNA gain should be at least 32 dB, and your VGA gain should be at least 16 plus. That will give you the best audio quality that you'll be able to get during streaming.
I don't see either of those under source.
Okay, I saw the gain he's talking about, but not the VGA gain, just the regular gain.
It says if you go under source, it will give you the name of your device. It will say bandwidth, LNA, VGA gain, bias T, amp enable, IQ correction, IQ vert.
We're not, well, we see gain.
Okay,
and
then
PPM correction, bias T, offset, RTL-AGC,
okay,
tuner
you
AGC.
want the RTL-AGC because that is going to be that will help you with your audio for the RTLs, and
Okay.
you want IQ correction. So yes, those two should be selected. Bias T, you only need that if you are enabling what are called inline filters that
Right.
require bias T power.
Right.
Now, you don't need to change your offset. As it stands, also by standard, you guys were going through the modules. Some of the modules work. I haven't been able to test them all to bring them up to date. We also have another version of this that's out there that is being tested that also has transmit functionality. We hope to release after the first of the year.
Cool.
Very cool.
I like that.
So, with your display, you want to go down and you want to make sure your FFT hold is 60, your FFT smoothing is at least 100, and your S&M Smart smoothing is 20. Depending on how big you want the text in the display,
Yep, you're good,
you can change the scaling. I think by default we have it locked in at 100 right now because smaller scaling was breaking. We were having a problem with the scaling. It is being worked on to be fixed. I would have show waterfall, full waterfall update should be added.
It is?
So,
done.
okay. So that should give you the best stream you should get right there. Now, let's go back over this. Let me go up the line. Now, we do have, and by the way, I saw, what's his name, was trying to look at the scanner function. That scanner function is only per band. So you can scan that band. We are currently working on a frequency manager scanner so that when you store memories in the frequency manager, eventually you'll be able to have a checkbox next to where it says name. You'll be able to select those, hit a scan button, and it will rotate through them. We are currently working on that code, so you will have what we call the memory scanner.
Okay.
But as it is now, the scanner that's built into this is strictly to scan the band, like the 40 meter band, the 20 meter band.
Okay.
It is not a memory scanner like you were thinking.
Now, so I've got it set here on the screen. I was playing around with scanning. This is our local P25 public safety stuff. And I set scanning parameters, but it didn't seem... Yeah, it says it's scanning. So I'm just scanning a 1 megahertz of the local public safety stuff, but I don't see it actually trying to scan anything here.
I don't. So I'll have to check that. It may not be functioning. I have not played with that full function.
Oh wait, no. Now it's working.
Okay.
It was sitting there earlier, but yeah, now it's popping around.
See this Jim, this is classic. It never breaks when the IT guy is there, right?
Right.
And now that we got Richard on the stream, boom, there it is. It's classic.
Yeah. So as it goes down, the new version that we're working on, that's going to be coming out, has new functions. It has your grid. You can set your grid. We are working on, let's see, we have FT8. We're working on GSA call. We're working on a couple other scanner function modules that aren't in there yet. The FT8 FT4D code I have not played with. The guy who wrote it for us wrote it and then disappeared.
I tried to get that working once I got the software up, and it didn't want to pipe into WSJTX, so I'm not sure if that actually works.
Okay, now what are you using to pipe it in with?
Just a virtual audio cable.
Okay. Yeah, I will give that a test this week because I'm off of school, I'm off of work, so I've got like the next
Yay.
3 weeks. I've got the next 3 weeks to like go through and start working on helping with this, and get it back to par and find out what is and is not working correctly.
Listen, Steve told you, and I got to echo it, dude. By far, I'm in love with this. This is one of the most straightforward SDR programs I have screwed with. And even if y'all don't have all these functions working, this thing looks good, and it works, and the interface is solid. The interface is really, what's the word I'm looking for? Intuitive on this thing. This is awesome.
Well, the big thing that I'm trying to work with our main dev on, and it's been a little bit of a fight with, I actually want to add band buttons across the bottom or down the side so that you'll actually be able to choose what band you want. I think that's one of the functions we're missing. And he agrees, but he doesn't agree. He doesn't want to clutter it up. So we're trying to figure out how to add them without making clutter.
So
Discord integration?
2 things. Jim will probably boot me for this one, but that's fine.
Wait,
I'm ready. Hover.
I'm hovering.
This might even be better than DSD Plus, just for scan.
I'm not going to tell you there ain't things that could be better than DSD Plus. My Unication G4 scanner is better. My SDS 200 is better. But on a computer, I can't complain about DSD Plus because it works.
And this software works great too. Jody does have a question for Richard. What's the best way to interact with the dev team for feedback and suggestions?
We have, if you go on Discord and go to SDR Plus channel on Discord.
On their Discord server.
Yeah, we have a Discord server, SDR Plus.
Cool. Now, while we've got you on the show here, and you know more about this than any of us for sure.
Hopefully,
since he's writing the program, explain I and Q. I've read this one time. I forgot. It's been like 3 or 4 years.
Oh God.
Okay, maybe you're the wrong person to ask. That guy's not here tonight.
Hold on. Let me grab my tag. Is
there a PowerPoint deck to go with this?
Yes.
Understanding IQ, the IQ signal is basically a high-low signal. It's called in-phasing quadrant. The best thing to word is if you go to YouTube, Google and put in IQ, the first one that's all about circuits will give you the best in detail. It's about it and give you the full understanding of what you need to know.
Okay.
That's where I send everybody. It talks about the sampling. It talks about amplitude and phase. It will give you everything you need to know and understand IQ.
All right. That's fair. Of course,
I'm
Lee.
not getting a whole lot of signals on here.
Lee is like, well that's I and Q are in phase and quadrature.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lee.
But it's a lot more than that. It's in phase and quadrature, but to explain it more, it's there. If you go read the All About Circuits page, that will give you the best understanding, and I would bookmark it as a reference. Now,
cool.
as on to what you were saying, you were having a problem not getting a lot of frequencies. 1, what type of antenna? Is it indoor, outdoor? Number 2, is it a dipole or a vertical? Number 3, what type of coax are you using?
All right. In order of appearance, I believe the coax, well, I guess in order of memory, I believe the coax is RG58 off the top of my head, maybe RG8. It's a vertical antenna. It is a 17-foot whip, and it is outside.
Okay, you should be fine. So
Should be.
we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to the Ellen. That means because of did you readjust your gain? What did you set your gain for?
It's at 28 right now.
Okay, I would take it up to 32.
Let's take it up to 30. I mean, I can see signals, but I should be able to see a lot more than what I'm seeing right now. I went through the whole FM broadcast band and saw. I mean, you're looking at the FM broadcast band right now, and there's not a whole lot there.
I'm looking at your settings.
Your
So I'm
small
going down
screen
this.
right now.
Hang on, you're looking at Jim's screen first off. Jim likes to not keep the screen updated. That's my screen.
Your screen is blurry, but okay.
Oh, snap.
I didn't hear him.
Yeah.
That's because apparently
your screen is a little blurry, sir.
Oh, okay. That's internet connection.
Yeah, your internet's jacking up, Steve.
Okay, you need IQ tuner to K 32.
Guys, I'll be back in a few.
All right. All your source settings looks to be set right. So
Yeah.
at 80 now, do you have it set for narrow? You have it set for narrow FM, right?
I should. Looks like it. Let me double check. Yep, narrow FM.
And they're
Okay,
screaming to turn off the RTL AGC and turn on the tuner AGC, Steve.
Yeah,
Let's try that.
swap those. It may be having a problem with that, but we use RTL for RTL. But yeah, let's see. No, he was getting better signal with the RTL.
Yeah.
But go back to the RTL. There you go. Wow, your your screen
I
just like
changed.
snapped.
I changed frequencies
Okay.
because I was going to go down to the weather channel.
Now hit stop and start because you are going to have to change. Whenever you change a setting under source, you should really stop it and restart it because it doesn't always write the file correctly. We have found that's another little bug we're working on. Okay. Let's see here. Go down to 3.919.
I always grab the
By
wrong mouse.
the way, you know, if you go right up on the numbers and
Yep.
you click the top or the bottom of the number, you can clear the numbers out. It will allow you to go up or low.
Right, that's how I'm tuning.
Okay. So now, by the way, so you guys know, left and right, which is the left and right arrow, allows you to move that red bar. When you click that double arrow, click it, you'll get a bullseye. No, up in the top, you see where it shows the double arrows?
Next to the
Yeah,
frequency.
those two. Yep, we did that.
Click
Yep.
that. Notice it moved it to the center. That centers your frequency.
Good. I like that.
Okay, that is one of the things. Now, we have another thing that we're adding that has a little bug right now is we are adding what we call fat finger mode because this is made to work on a Raspberry Pi touchscreen. And apparently currently wipes out our gigahertz numbers. We're trying to fix that. Sorry, guys.
Whoops.
It's a little bug. But if you go down to go to 003.919, go down to the 80 meter band. I want to see what you get. Go to 0. No,
Yeah,
not 33.
It's
3.
moving. I know. I'm getting there.
Okay, 3919.
Is there a way to just type the frequency in?
There is.
My keyboard doesn't do it, but that's because I have a broken build.
As long as you're hovering, I found as long as you're hovering over any of those numbers, you can manually type in whatever you want.
Okay. Now, change your radio mode to LSB. Down below. No, you had it right. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. I have two mice on my desktop, and I keep grabbing the wrong mouse.
Why does this look like you're not receiving anything? You should be receiving. This
That
is
was my
acting like
question to
your I would double check your RTL-SDR connection.
Yeah, we did that
Unplug it.
earlier.
Okay,
All right, let's stop it and then unplug it.
Yeah.
And while you're doing that, Steve, you have some housekeeping.
I do have some housekeeping, but let me pull that up real quick. We have Michael. Michael says you can always put this towards the Starlink bandwidth upgrade fund. Thank you very much, Michael. That was weird. Thank you, Michael.
Okay, here's something I'm just noticing. You have iBranch selected. Try to QBranch, because I wasn't getting anything on iBranch for HF, but once I selected QBranch, everything came up.
Let's go to QBranch.
Oh yeah, you should have been on QBranch. I didn't. Thank you for catching that. I didn't see that.
Now
now
I
it
see
looks like I have
signals.
something.
Now you got frequencies. Yeah, you were on the wrong branch. A Q is for using straight audio on an RTL-SDR. I is for when you're going to send it straight out as digital, and you're going into a I app. But yeah, you're good to go. That was your problem.
That's Spanish.
Tune
So
in to
now,
3916. You could probably pick up the Santa net.
Or if you, CenterNet or 919, which is the friendly bunch.
Well, now we got this working.
I can't believe you can't pick up Santa.
Oh, there he is. Now that I just switched.
You can bring
I can
your
hear him a
gain
little
down
bit.
some. Bring your gain down just a little. There you go.
Yep, it's coming
It's-
through.
And it's 3916 for Santa. Yeah, Jim's back.
You know, I wouldn't know that frequency, Frank, but if you watch tomorrow
Right.
night, I have a video coming out that's in the rotation there of CQ Santa net with my young son.
Nice segue there, Tim.
I noticed, and I actually, I'm glad, Tim, you mentioned that. A bunch of our friendly ham tubers have started doing a regular Tuesday night thing. And you guys are publishing a playlist for all that?
Yeah, let me get that for you.
Got a link there, buddy?
The other things that I'm working on modules for that we're working on that are going to take a little time is we are going to add a listeners so that you guys will have a listeners log. It's one of the functions. I know that it's going to take a little bit, but I know a lot of people who do SDR listening want to be able to add to the listeners log and post it. And we're gonna, in our new version that's being worked on that will have transmit, we're hoping to also have EQSL integration.
Ooh.
So that you'll be able to log right to EQSL.
Do you have a rotary encoder option for this?
It's in the works. It is
Awesome.
going to use. It's going to use. There is, and then there's also going to be a new module, which will be MIDI integration, so that you'll be able to use them.
It's coming through.
Yeah, you'll be able to add a MIDI encoder with buttons, and that will be also. So, I'm pulling in what I know out of the HL2 and bringing it over because that's my big field. I have this working with my HL2, my Hack RF, and my RTL-SDR version and version 3 and 4. So I do know that it works with the 4 of the 3 It works with the HackRF. It works with most of the SDR. Now remember, there is another part that's not fully in here. If you want to use SDR Play devices, you must install the
We got that one, Jim.
SDR API, which you have to manually download from their site, install it, so that you have the API control.
Well, that explains it, because I actually, while we were talking, plugged in my SDR Play, and I couldn't get it to work.
Right. You have to add the SDR Play API. You will have to install that manually.
So Don wants
And
to know
all
if this will work on the Radio Berry as well as the Hermes Lite.
Yes. Radio Berry and the Hermes Lite are the exact same board. They're just, the only difference was one was meant to mount right onto the Raspberry Pi, and the Hermes Lite was a standalone.
Awesome. So coming to a nugget soon near you, we'll get the Radio Berry up and running.
Yeah. We also now, if you want to talk Radio Berry really quick, I'll make this real quick. Radio Berry / HL2, we have a whole different software that we use with it, which is PiHPSDR. So we'll have to get into that at some point, because that's the other program I work on. I work on that, and we're rewriting LinHPSDR, which will be the Linux version.
Nice.
So I have my hands in SDR, so.
Awesome. So Jim, we've got your screen back up, and one of the things that I saw is if you go down to Frequency Manager on the left-hand side, it's the very last one.
Now, by the way, that's something, hold on real quick. You guys can if you click on, say, VFO or Frequency Manager, and you drag it up, you can drag it and place it anywhere in that list you want.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, that's nice.
So you can move it all the way up to the top so that it's your first section. Now, you have to put it under source, and then you have to drag source down one, and that will put it at the top.
Beauty.
Now, in order to save a memory, you put it on the frequency you want to save, like you're at now. You go over to Frequency Manager. You hit Add. You give it a name.
Okay. I don't want to save this. This is P25.
But you add a name. You set the mode, whatever it is. Say Apply, and it will put it in your list.
Now, I don't know if you said this, I missed it. Is P25 or Fusion or DMR decode coming to this program?
It's being worked on, but the problem is, as it currently stands, the only way some of it can be encoded is through closed source applications. And there's a real problem with our head developer. He's not a real fan of dealing with closed source integrations. He wants to try and keep everything as open source as possible.
P25 is open, right?
No.
No. P25 is closed source.
I'll be darned.
That's
so,
why
ladies and
Motorola
gentlemen,
gets
Kyle, A0Z is currently streaming his CW Roundtable tonight. Head on over there and show Kyle some love. Tell him that we sent you. We are getting ready to wrap up here a little bit. Rich, I want to thank you very much for joining us on stream. Frank, it's always a pleasure to have you as well. I put in the chat a link to support SDR Plus on Patreon. And like we said, this is so far the nicest looking, easiest, cleanest install that we have done so far. Up and running was seconds on all platforms except for me, because I did the Raspberry Pi 64-bit OS with a 32-bit binary.
Suggestion. Go back and read the link I put in there earlier, or I'll try to link you later, that explains how to build it on 64-bit. I think if you build it faster, which is really simple to build, because most everything you build is apt install. The only thing and with what we integrated now, you don't even have to manually build WDSP. It's automatically included in the build now.
Nice.
Richard, are you in the Toads Discord?
I'm in Discord, yes.
Are you in the Toads Discord?
No.
Well, Richard, actually, I was going to ask this question.
Libertarian Red Pill, welcome to the stream. You must be new here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you new to this stream, or did you?
No,
have
I watch you guys all the time. In fact,
Awesome.
Okay.
I would have gone back to the Angel SDR because that's another one I worked on
It's
for
on the list.
development at one point, and I helped get it working on the Mac M1.
Nice.
Okay.
We are currently about to release an M1 build on it. It currently uses the Intel swap over right now, but there is going to be a M1 release. But I have to say, after watching how hard you struggled on that install, I sat there and rolled on the floor dying. You about gave me stitches, dude.
Awesome.
So,
Well-
real quick, Jody was saying that our format is not to read any kind of documentation or anything like that. We just run with it. And he said what Rich is going to have to realize is that we don't read the chat either. So,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was evidence tonight. And
Yeah,
I wanna
and
say
like
this-
when I had this up on my screen, the StreamYard screen is behind the SDR, and I'm driving the SDR program. So yeah, I'm not keeping up with the chat.
And I want to say
Oh,
this,
yeah.
Richard. In the description of the video, I'm sure Tio has a link to the Toads Discord. I'm
Yep.
sure you're more than welcome to come in and play SDR with us whenever you want.
Okay, the other thing too, and I will try to loast it up there. I have another Discord also. It's called Everything SDR, and I have built it out to be basically everything that I have dealt with in SDR that's out there. I have basically built up what resources, and I'm trying to get more people to come over so that you have resources there that you can build off of.
Nice.
Nice.
So I will pop in a minute and link that into. I guess I'll post it on this web page for the group. I guess, or I'll find a way to slide it in. But if you look it up, I should be able to find it too. It's called Everything SDR.
As
Awesome.
I said, drop into Toad's Discord, and there's a chat just for the Monday Night Nuggets live stream. I'm sure you could drop it in there, no problem.
Hold on, is it TODS or
It's
Toads?
linked at the top of the
TOADS.
chat over on the left of the
Toads-
stream and
Toads
in the
Tavern.
description.
Okay, hold on.
It's not Toad's Tavern.
Oh, no thanks. Oh, okay, wrong one.
I don't know what
It's in
you might be very happy to see that. You might be very scared to see that. I don't know, but it's not who we are.
Okay,
There's
It
a
is in the
link in the-
description of the video.
okay. Okay. Well, I'm off of my Discord. I'll get back over to the other one in a minute here and look. But yeah, I'm glad I could help you guys and help you guys get squared away. Like I said, if you guys notice any little glitches, let us know so that they can be fixed. But as it is right now, this is kind of where our release is. My current version is broken, and I broke mine on purpose because I'm working on adding transmit in and fixing some of the bugs that we're finding. As it stands now, the only 3 boards we know it works with is the SDR Play 2, I think it is, the Eggshell 2/Pi, and the HackRF.
And we have a couple other questions. Don had a question. Let me scroll back to, actually I started. Well, actually Lee was first. Lee wants to know if he builds it, he gets an error where it's looking for blah, blah, blah. Can you see the screen? Or do I have to read all that?
I missed
Live,
it. Where'd it
So-
live VOLK1 dev and live VOLK2
go? He has to.
dev.
No, it's not live. It's lib, LIB.
That's what I said.
Vulkan 2. Okay, he has to do. He has to install the lib Vulkan 2 library. He has to apt install lib Vulkan lib Vulkan 2 -dev.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
Lee,
Lee, I'll
you
message
second
you on the
one.
Discord. I got you. I got you, brother. We'll take care of it.
Okay. Hold on, Richard. I'm a nugget. What does that mean?
That's the
That's
show.
the name of the show.
Ham nuggets.
Okay.
Randall said Richard is a nugget.
Okay, now SDR Play Patreon. I'm looking for the link for you guys. Where I'm looking, Patreon, YouTube, gear. Where I don't see in the list of where
Should be the blue banner at the top
It says-
of the live chat.
If you're looking in the description, it says we want you on the Toads Discord.
I'm looking. I'm kind of blind here. Toads. It says Ham Season Episode 4. I don't see that. I'm blind.
You can find it afterwards and join anytime.
Okay, yeah, we'll get to that. So, give me a minute here. But yeah, and I'll help get list whatever. But I appreciate helping you guys. I'm glad I could help you. I wish I could have jumped in before to help you with the SDR Angel, but when you were doing it, you were so far along trying to catch up with where you were having problems. I was on the floor at one point laughing so hard, I had to turn it off because I died laughing. I was... So don't take
Actually,
it wrong,
the SDR Angel install went great. It just was extremely time consuming.
Well, you at one point you got mad at it and then you came back to it. I think you had tried to do a pre-install.
Oh no, that was Jim. Jim didn't follow the rules, and Jim
okay.
often did a pre-install, and I think he might have gotten chastised by TO on the stream.
That's what I do. That's my job here.
I just installed
Folks, thank you
it
very
on
much for
Windows,
joining.
like, the day
Richard, much
before.
appreciate you coming along. And I have to hit the end
appreciate
button and get everybody over to Kyle's stream. Thanks again, everybody. We will see you next Monday for a special Christmas giveaway White Elephant stream. So looking forward to that.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thanks.